Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So this is a bit crazy, but today on the What Wiki we've got an episode stills for the first 3 episodes of the Wheel of Time TV series. Now of course I'm going to be discussing them here, but what I'm going to be doing is splitting each episode's stills into 3 separate ones. But before I show any of these stills on the screen right now, I am going to give you fair warning. If you're someone who does not want to have anything about these first 3 episodes spoiled in any way, shape or form, I suggest you do not watch these videos. But before we go any further, if this is the sort of thing you would love to see, these brand new stills that are kind of a hidden array that you had to find, consider subscribing to the channel down below and turning on the notification bell so you are up to date with every video that I drop on the Wheel of Time. Right, let's get on and look at these stills from episode 1. So to begin with, we're going to start off, I would say, with this photo right here, which is a still of Matt, Perrin and Rand just outside, I would suggest, the Wine Spring Inn. So yeah, this is pretty much nothing new. We've seen this shot quite a lot from loads of sort of teasers and whatnot, where we've seen very brief shots of this exact still we're looking at right now, where they're just sitting down having a bit of a chat and giggle, I suppose, with one another, and just, I don't know, talking about the day or life in general. Note you can see these stables in the background, which I think is pretty nice to see, because we haven't really seen these stables as of yet for the horses. But yeah, there's not too much going on with this photo, but let me tell you, there's a lot of interesting photos to come yet, so stay tuned. Right, let's move on. Up next, I think this is a a really cool photo of Perrin in his blacksmith outfit. So yeah, as you can see, it looks, from the way this photo is being taken, it's being suggested this building right here on the left of Perrin, I would suggest, is either the actual blacksmith building, or perhaps this is just where he's come to, you know, collect water at the very least. We've got a lovely shot of the Wine Spring Inn before it gets burnt down in the first episode. So yeah, it's really cool just to see Perrin in his element, in his blacksmith apron, and of course note he's got this kind of cool looking glove as well on his hand, which we haven't seen in any of the stills before. So obviously this is where he'll be holding all the kind of tools that he will be using in the blacksmith's forge. And so he's got this to, you know, protect his hand from the hotness, because obviously a lot of the tools will be put into furnaces and whatnot to you know, mold and to mold the weapons or armor or whatever it is he's creating in the forge. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty neat photo to get. Now this one right here, this is really cool because you guys get to see a proper still of sort of the scenes I was talking about with Egwene and the Woman Circle initiation. So as I said, they are still on the hilltop and they're conversing and talking with one another, and as you can see right here, this is actually something I haven't seen. And this is obviously just before the version of the scene I got to see happened and occurred. So obviously, as you can quite clearly see, they've started to tie Egwene's hair in a braid for the ceremony, because as we all know, she will now become a Woman Circle member. And so this is obviously their way in the Two Rivers of signifying a young girl becoming of age into a woman, or into womanhood. So yeah, very much, as you can see, Egwene and Nynaeve, they're wearing the same clothing as we've seen from the first teaser and all subsequent shots of them in that kind of sequence. But yeah, it's going to be really cool. It looks like it's going to be even a little bit more extended than what I've seen from, you know, before what I've seen. Obviously, we know there's quite a lot going on afterwards in terms of when she finally arrives in the cave. And then the ceremony, you know, properly commences in the sense of it being the initiation portion, or the congratulatory sort of event where they've kind of welcomed her into the women's circle after that very kind of cool looking pool with all the colours that they have in the jars of vases that they pour into the pool where Egwene is in. Right, let's move on. Up next, wow, this one is really cool, and I love to see these two characters interact. I think this is going to be a pretty cool scene to see. So what we've got here is Padan, Fain, and Matt, and they're obviously here having a little chat. Matt is, I would presume, bought something off Padan Fain, in fact. Let's try and get a closer look at what that could be. I don't know, maybe it's a sort of lantern Matt's got in his hand. That's the best description I could give you guys of it. But as you can see, there's a lot of sort of different items for sale that Padan Fain has got with him. He's brought to the two rivers. We can see necklaces down there. There seems to be some sort of parchment paper on the bottom right of the photo, and I'm not too sure what these kind of hanging things that kind of look like flowers, and maybe it's some sort of incense or something. I really don't know what to make of that. Maybe some of you guys out there has a better suggestion of what it could be. Let me know in the comments down below. But I think this could be quite a kind of really cool scene to see. Maybe a bit of a comedic scene as well. Because I don't know, the look that Padan Fain is giving Matt, they look to be having a little bit of a joke. So it'd be interesting to see what is happening with these two when we finally get to watch this in the first episode. But yeah, this looks really cool and something I can't wait to see. And of course, this is another confirmation of Padan Fain, and he's going to have a little bit more of a role in the first episode. Next is a still from the Wine Spring Inn scene that we've all seen, of course, by now, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but it's just a still, obviously, of the moment. Lan walks into the wine spring, cloaked up, so he looks pretty dangerous and conspicuous. Nynaeve is obviously holding the dagger at her waist as well. And then now this is really cool. This is a scene of Egwene and Nynaeve. Now this is a moment during Winternight after the initial attack from the Trollocs have happened, and Nynaeve has actually rescued Egwene from a very perilous moment that I saw in the scenes where she literally saves her life. And then they kind of take cover and kind of watch the onslaught happen for a little while before they kind of jump into it as well. Yeah, really cool to see this. Kind of like they've kind of hidden behind one of the stores in Emond's Field. Like, as you can see, there's fruit on the bottom right corner there. So it's obviously kind of a fruit and veg store, I would surmise from that. But yeah, after that, I think this might be just before the scene where they go and tend to Semburi. If it is Semburi, because I'm still not certain whether my memory is right in thinking it was Semburi, but I'm sure it was because they looked pretty much identical. But yeah, really cool to see, giving you a glimpse into a little bit more of Winternight and what will unfold then. Now we have a couple of shots where it's when Lan and Moraine enter the battle to help, clean up the two rivers of the Trollocs. It's a really cool shot of Moraine here channeling the One Power. You can see the weaves, they look absolutely amazing, I have to say. They've kind of encircled her. And obviously this is that moment where we see her kind of channeling that huge lightning bolt that comes down from the sky on one of those Trollocs. So yeah, it's really nice to see. Then we've got a shot of Lan during Winternight, and this seems to be just after the events have all unfolded. He looks to kind of be surveying the, how can we say this, surveying the result of the attack. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what's happening, because kind of, as you can see, all the kind of embers are in the air from the fires that have been started from the Trolloc attack. So I'm dead certain that scene. Now this one here, this is a really cool shot to end the first episode stills on. Now I was not too sure about kind of where to place this in this video, because obviously this is a moment where I believe Liandrin and her fellow Red Sisters kind of will catch up with Logain and capture him, or at least that's the way I've interpreted it. And for that, it kind of, really doesn't fit into, in my mind, where it would be. Would this be kind of early on, in between kind of the introduction to the two rivers and the gang in there, and then kind of just before the events of Winternight, and this is kind of a scene to break up everything just being in the two rivers, to kind of give it a different kind of, you know, flow for the episode. Because obviously we're not going to spend 30 straight minutes in the two rivers and then go straight into the Winternight battle. It's going to be split up. We're going to have scenes, I would say, from the past. I think we might get like a dragon mount, or the breaking moment, I should say, with dragon mount as well. We'd lose Fain probably. I think we'll get maybe some. Well, we're obviously going to get this scene here with the Red Sisters, but we know she's not alone in this scene. We know Alana Musfani is there. We know Karine Nagashi is there. So it was very hard for me to place where it could be chronologically in the episode, but just it's really cool. We've got a really nice look at the outfits that the Red Sisters are all wearing, especially Liandrin's. It's quite different from the other Aes Sedai ones we've seen. It seems like it's more of a kind of riding outfit sort of garment that she's got on. As you can see, we've got the split skirt to make it easy for her to go up and down off of her horse. But just in general, the way the kind of gauntlets on her hand look, and also kind of around her waist that go along to her shoulders, is really cool. And I love kind of like the flower, I don't know if it's a flower, but the design around this portion of the dress that she's got on as well. It's really cool to see. And Liandrin, I have to say, she looks badass. She looks like she's in complete control of everything that's going on around her, and she's very confident in the moment that she's in, even though it could be potentially with one of the false dragons, which is of course Loghain. So yeah, that is a quick and brief breakdown of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stills we've got from the first episode. So I feel like this has given us a better understanding of how the episode's going to pan out, and it's kind of given myself a lot of confirmation in the way I thought it would play out as well. With kind of getting to see the Emond's Field group, you know, interact with one another and to learn about them and their characters and how they are as people. Then we'll get the attack on Winternight, and of course now we know we're going to get the scenes such as Liandrin and the other groups of Aes Sedai, and I think they are obviously intentionally holding back some of the more OMFG moments from the first episode that are yet to air. I think there's going to be probably a few flashback moments. We could get the breaking. I think that's quite a big potential, especially as we know we will be getting Luz Ferrin in the first season, and I think it's more than likely it will be in a flashback scene than in any other sort of kind of what's the word I'm looking for here, artistic way, kind of trying to get him involved with the Emond's Field 5. But yeah, cool to see. Love these new photos. I think it's not spoiling too much in terms of what we already knew was to be happening in the first episode. I think we've all been quite aware for a long time now of what would be happening. But I think they've left enough back, or quite a bit back, of what we haven't seen yet. I think it's going to be quite, maybe not startling is the wrong word to be using there, but kind of a surprise for us all to be watching in this first episode. But yeah, see, episode 2 and 3 stills is a lot more spoilery, just to give you guys warning, in case maybe you've decided to watch this first one and then we'll potentially see whether you'll watch the second and third videos of this very small series. Perhaps we'll get this for all 8 episodes and I'll do these breakdowns as we go along. But yeah, thank you for watching. Leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, and of course if you guys have any comments, do leave them down below, as I'd love to get your thoughts and takes on all these photos from episode 1. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you all probably a little bit later today in the What Wednesday reveal of whatever it may be.